Welcome, race fans. We're going to go green flag at Slingin Dirt tonight. I'm here with Tyler Scott. Tyler, thanks for coming.
Thanks for having me.
Yes, sir. You're voted in fan favorite this week. We kind of did a contest last week. For those of you who don't know or just tuning in, we did our first premiere launch episode last week. We had the Last Outlaw Jesse James Lay on. That went really well. I think we're going to get a lot of good response for it. More to come as well in that area. So then we decided we're going to do like a fan-based. Let the fans pick who the next driver was going to be. So it was pretty simple. Just post a picture of the driver you want to see on and then start putting likes to it. Well, some people started getting more than one picture. So we had to clarify those. So we got that all taken care of.
Misunderstood the assignment.
It's okay. It's okay. Race fans and race drivers tend to do that from time to time. So we ended up with a winner. Tyler and Steve Duderstadt were going at it neck and neck. I mean, I would have thought we would have seen a fairly close competition throughout, but man, you guys just like skyrocketed and there was nobody touching you guys. I mean, it was kind of like watching you guys on the racetrack, you know? Yeah. You guys get put on some pretty good battles on the track as well.
No matter where he goes or where I go with him, it's me and him's always battling.
You guys are right there.
Yeah.
Good.
You can't pull ahead of him. You can't. It's just
good stuff. So Tyler, again, we're here at Moeller Raceway Park. We got our sponsors to thank. We kind of went through some of that with the preview. That's going to be on the YouTube channel as well, so you're cautioning all that. We got the racetrack in the background. Tyler, when was the first time you raced here?
Would have been about 2017, I think.
2017. Okay. When did you actually start racing?
I started racing on and off in about 2015, 2016.
Okay.
My dad and my uncle bought a Legend car when they first got into it, and I kind of took out from after there. Then they got out of it, and I got into it pretty big.
So Legend car, that was your first race car.
Yeah, that's my first one.
Did either your dad or your uncle, or did either of them drive the Legend, or you just took it over from them and said, "Oh, hey, this is mine, by the way"?
No, they first started driving it, then I got interested in the racing a lot more than I started driving.
Was she a little better than they were? I mean,
Yeah,
it's okay. Yeah. So I get whoever's best. That's who's going to get the seat, man.
It took a few years.
So Dad raced as you're a kid growing up. Dad raced some?
Yeah, Dad raced at Brown County Speedway.
Out in Russellville.
Yeah, he raced all over the place.
Yeah.
Mud Lick, Goddard.
Yeah.
He raced everywhere.
Sure. I've been to Goddard a couple of times when I was younger. I say younger, maybe early high school-ish. There's a funny story to that, but I'll save that one for next time. Me and Danny Hurt had a really funny experience coming out of the place one time.
Yeah.
And so anyway, those tracks out there down in that area. Portsmouth, you ever go to Portsmouth?
Yeah, we went to Portsmouth some.
Okay.
I remember just going with them as a kid.
What has been your favorite track to race on in the Legend car?
Favorite track. Man, I like them all. I don't have like a.
You don't have one that you really look forward to going to, or?
I like this track I'm going to in North Carolina.
Okay.
Like Atomic. I like Moeller Raceway Park, Florence.
What's the name of the track in North Carolina?
It's Fayetteville Motorsports.
Oh, okay, Fayetteville. Yeah, I've been there. I actually worked a couple Lucas Oil races there.
Oh, yeah.
We call it Fayetteville. The place is a little outside the parking lot. It can be a little sketchy.
Yeah.
Gotcha. Okay, so you basically grew up in the Brown County area.
Yep.
High school?
I was real little.
Real little?
Yeah, I was like 4 or 5.
Okay. Where'd you go to high school at?
I went to high school at Ripley.
Oh, okay. Ripley Union Lewis.
Yep.
Yeah, I think I played like when I was like in high school. I just played some soccer games or something down there. We always had the Tobacco Festival down there. I had an uncle when I was younger and growing up. He had a cabin down off of North Pole Road.
Oh yeah.
And sometimes me and my cousins would go down and camp and just be teenagers and stuff. We used to do a lot of hunting and stuff down there. You hunt down there a lot, or?
Yeah, there's some big bucks back in there, but they're all over. Yeah, I do a lot of hunting back in there.
Yeah, I remember. So we would go down hunting season, and my uncle's cabin. Man, this thing we fixed it up pretty nice. So we're down for deer season. We go in and the camp. Everybody's camping there and having a great time. And my dad was disabled, so he really didn't go out and hunt as much like the rest of us did. And I wasn't there for this particular trip. Dad goes out on the front deck of this cabin, and my uncle and all his buddies, they all camp there, but they would get in their trucks or cars or wherever and go somewhere, a couple miles away and hunt around the property. Well, my uncle had like 30 acres there. So Dad's keeping the cabin warm, keeping the stove warm, and cooking the beans or the chili or whatever, just what he should do. And he goes out on the deck and he's just, he's smoking his cigarettes, because that's what Dad does. And he's just watching bucks just walk right by the cabin. It's like, man, why are these guys going hunting somewhere? They could have stayed right here and shot them off the deck. Yeah, so that's good stuff. So you've only drove legend cars. You haven't drove anything else? Street stocks or anything like that?
Nope.
Are you looking for anything else? Is there another kind of car you would like to drive, or someday like, man, hey, I'd like to maybe build up to, or is this a stepping stone to something else?
Yeah, I'm hoping so. I'm hoping to get into sport mods eventually.
Sport mods, yeah.
Maybe looking into a midget car.
Right, yeah.
Pretty fun.
A little TQ or something, or something a little bit bigger.
Maybe, yeah, something like that.
Yeah, man, some of those four-cylinder really like the USAC stuff, man. Those guys are love watching the chili bowl.
Oh, yeah.
Big chili bowl fan.
Yeah.
I mean, I like eating the chili bowl too, but I like watching it. It's good stuff too. So sport mod. Those guys put on some good shows. I mean, they do a pretty good job here.
Yeah.
The class has come a long way. I know it's been around for a little bit, but I think it's the popularity of it is kind of, I don't know. I feel like it's still somewhat cost efficient. I mean, every type of racing is expensive, but I still feel like that's kind of more affordable. Like the working man can still afford one of these cars, So if you're watching this and you're thinking about getting in a race car, hey, a sport mod division could be something to think about. So sport mods, you like them? Do you have a favorite driver?
Man, I like my dad.
Now, I seen your dad's got his stuff for sale. Did he sell it? Is he trying to sell it? Or is he getting something newer?
No, he's just he's wanting to sell it. I mean, he don't want to sell. He does want to sell it, but he don't at the same time. If he don't sell it, he's still going to race. Temporary
retirement. So he may be back at some point.
Yeah, maybe.
Gotcha. So thinking about maybe a sport mod, you like? Oh gosh, no particular favorite driver, no particular favorite track. Okay, how'd you do in the points this year?
Tri-State, I think I finished 7th or 8th in the points. Then Ohio Valley Legend Car Series, I finished 3rd or 4th in the points. I was in the top 4 of the championship.
Right.
Racing Portsmouth.
Yeah. So you brought up Tri-State. We got to make sure we think, and we appreciate the Tri-State Legend Series. Those guys are a sponsor of our show this year too. So if you're interested in watching the Legend Series, hey, you might want to get on the website there and check those guys out. So the Legend Series, especially the Tri-State, you guys are going to be at Moeller every week this year, right?
Yeah, they got a pretty big schedule. I haven't even really went through it yet. But
yeah.
They got a lot.
Now I assume there's going to be other tracks on their schedule as well.
Yeah.
Did they go out in Indiana? I know there was the Circle City.
Circle City. Yeah.
They go up there as well.
Yeah.
And that's a good little haul for you guys, ain't it?
Yeah, I think for me, it's like 4 hours or something. Like that.
4 hours.
3 or 4, yeah, something like that.
Wow. That's not too bad.
No, Indianapolis.
Yeah, all right, jeez. Okay, so, well, that can make for a long weekend, if you're racing here. Well, I guess, so you're from here. How far are you from here?
45 minutes.
Okay, so that's not too bad, but this would be on your way to Indianapolis.
Yeah, it just depends on which way I go up, pretty much.
Gotcha, okay. So, other tracks, what else is on the schedule for the Tri-State Legend Series? Because I don't know their schedule a lot.
Yeah.
I'm fairly new to the Legend stuff. I've always liked them, always respected them, and always thought those little cars looked so neat and fun.
Yeah.
I had an opportunity to get into one this year. We'll go ahead and talk about that because it was pretty funny. It took me a whole lap and a half to stuff in the fence, but you were there helping thrash on it and get that thing back together.
Yeah, it was.
It's a little funny.
It's toned down about 4 inches, no big deal.
Yeah, so our Steve Duderstadt, we had the conversation like, man, I always wanted to get one of those things, and he just threw the comment at me. He says he called me one day out of the blue and says, hey, I want you to drive one of my cars. Mm-hmm. And I'm like, yeah, I just kind of blew it off thinking, yeah, this guy's crazy. Okay, whatever. Didn't really put any stock into it at all. Then, I don't know, a month or 2 months later, I started thinking about it. I was like, you know what? I haven't drove anything in a while. I'd like to get behind the wheel of something. Yeah. So I called him up. I said, hey, what do you talk about? Because I know he's got a few different cars. I know he runs some cars out. And I'm thinking, what's the deal here? Is this one of your rental cars, or it's just something to go out and play with? What are you thinking? He says, no, I want you to drive my car. And I said, well, okay. So long story short, trying to make it short, the weekend that we had planned didn't work, and it was supposed to have been Circle City, the weekend right after the North-South 100.
Yeah.
Well, I'm busy working that entire week, so that really doesn't give me a whole lot of time to get prepared for it. Anyway, that didn't work out, so we got a test day here to come and play, and he put me behind the wheel. Went out, made some laps, everything felt great. Times weren't horrible. I was like, all right, yeah, let's go do this. He said, well, we're going to race here in 2 weeks. I'm like, okay, sounds good. So he calls me like a Wednesday night or something like this. Said, hey, you know, I've got you a car. He said, I'm going to drive my car. He said, but I got you another car to drive. I'm like, okay, sure. So he said, it'll have my setup on there. It'd be very similar, and we'll go from there. Okay. So I go out and hot laps, and I guess I completely forgot everything that I learned from the previous time that I come out and practice.
Yeah.
I pushed it was horrible, but it's like, all right, I'm going to give it a shot. So I was on the tail of my heat race. Like, okay, that's where I need to be anyway. So I think I made it through turns 1 and 2, maybe once, maybe twice. And I'm coming off at 2, going down the backstretch, and all of a sudden the thing just goes directly right. And I'm like, whoa! Everything I could do, man, that thing just went straight into the wall, and I thought, man, I just destroyed somebody's car. Somebody I don't even know. I've never met this person in my life. Steve just says, hey, you can drive this car tonight. I'm like, okay. So, I felt horrible. And, man, you guys were working on that thing for a while. And he said, you know what? Here's what it was. He said, it wasn't your fault. And he said, the Honda joint wasn't threaded in all the way. And I'm like, that makes me feel a little better. Man, I still feel bad. I just tore somebody's equipment up, and you guys are working on it. Do you have nights like that where you're just working on them all night long?
Yeah, I hate them nights.
not very fun?
No, they can wear you out, especially electrical problems.
Oh, yeah. Yeah. Now, there's not a lot to those cars.
No, I mean, you can wire one up with an extension cord pretty much.
Very, very similar to almost like a motorcycle or a golf cart-ish type thing.
Yeah,
I gotcha. So, are you changing anything up for this year?
Yeah, I'm going with a different style motor this year. This one's water cooled.
Okay.
The previous oil cooled one.
Yeah.
I blew up 2 last year.
2.
Yeah.
Okay. Now, are these motors in these cars? Are they expensive? Not too bad. The last guy, the reason I asked, the last guy that I said here, not here, last guy I interviewed, his motor was, gosh, Rob, what did he say that thing was? $50,000. But he didn't pay that much for it. He got a deal on it. But I'm just like, man, I couldn't imagine running anything with that kind of money in something, you know.
For me, I gotta get a conversion kit and all, but it's like over $8,000.
Right.
Newer ones. I mean, you can get the older style pretty cheap.
Right. So what's a Turnkey Legend car go for? So for people that don't know, what's a Turnkey Legend car go for? What's the range? What are we looking at?
You can buy them turnkey from $5,000 and win in them to
really?
$25,000 and win in them as well.
Yeah. And just go out and have fun.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, that's awesome. I mean, I feel like our sport needs more of that. Now, are you guys seeing shortages on problems like tires or anything like that? What kind of tires do you run?
We run the Hoosier dirt tires.
Okay.
Sure.
Now, you guys used to run the rain tires?
Rain tires.
So is this basically like a 2 different series type of?
Yeah, then now everybody got back on the same page this year.
Okay, so now everybody's on the same page. So now you don't have to go buy 2 sets of different tires.
I was too broke to buy a set of rims, so I was on a peak breaker every week.
Changing them out
Yep.
Oh, wow, okay.
Race Friday here, and then Saturday I'd use a different tire.
Different tires. Instead of changing the whole wheels, you have to
Exactly.
dismount them, remount them, all that stuff. Okay. Safety on these guys, because they're little. I mean, these things are what? They're about the size of a golf cart?
Yeah, they weigh a little over 1,200 pounds.
1,200 pounds, and they're what kind of engines? How many cc's or?
1250 cc's. They're pushing somewhere around 150 horsepower, something like that.
150 horsepower. That's a pretty decent little horsepower to weight ratio.
Yeah.
I know I've seen a couple of the other drivers. I know, like the late model track champion, Mike Hildebrandt. He got a couple. Said him and his boy, they've raced a couple times. Said, man, they have a blast. And other than sticking mine in the fence, that wasn't mine. It's a fun car. I stuck somebody's car in the fence. Yeah, I mean, those cars are fun.
Yeah. Yeah, they can be pretty fun sometimes.
Yeah, they don't get all squirrely and get up all on the suspension. You know, I've driven some modifieds and stuff, and this thing tends to just walk down the straightaway, and it's like you don't get anything like that in a legend car.
I mean, you do, if the setup's right.
If the setup's right, okay. So I just wasn't doing something right.
I mean, if it's all out of whack, it's gonna go all over the place.
Right.
But yeah.
Now, how many laps do you guys normally run in your features? Because these are you got small fuel cells. I mean,
I can put 30 laps easily on a feature.
30 laps, and how many gallon fuel cells something like this have?
Less than 5 gallon.
Less than 5 gallon. Wow.
Yeah.
Okay. And you guys run like regular pump gas, or are you guys running racing gas too?
No, they run the racing gas. I just run pump 87.
Pump 87.
Yeah, $15. Go have fun all weekend long.
Man, that's awesome. And then I feel like, man, that's what a lot of our sport needs, is something that's, again, more affordable. You know, if we're looking at an audience and trying to get people interested. Not only we want you to come and see and check the racetracks out and meet the drivers and stuff. If you ever have the inclination, like, man, I'd like to get behind the wheel of something. I mean, and this is a good stepping stone. It's not you're not in the backyard in a go-kart, but you're not like some people. To some people, a Cavalier or a four-cylinder. To some people, that's not a race car.
Bang
Well,
banger.
so what's that?
The bang bangers.
Yeah, the bang bang. Yeah, that's not everybody's cup of tea. Or maybe the sport line might be a little extreme for some people to start out in. Maybe a legend car might be a good stepping stone for people to think about, you know.
Yeah.
Especially, I know, like you said, the Tri-State Legend Series, you know, it's. I know Michael does a really good job with the tech and with the rules. It seems like, from what I've seen, you know,
he does a great job.
he puts a lot into it. You know, I know you can tell the guy really cares about what he's doing.
Yeah.
You know,
He does.
so that's good. I'm glad to see you guys get more races here. You guys do a great job. You put on a hell of a show. I mean, we could say that, right? We're not going to get bleeped for saying hell. I mean, you guys do. You guys put on a hell of a show, whether it's the whole field or if it's watching you and Duderstadt, you know, run side by side for a few laps.
Yeah, it's pretty fun sometimes.
Yeah. Now, we've talked about Steve there a few times, and you guys do a lot of racing together. Is there anybody that you would consider to be like your biggest rival? Somebody that you just like, oh man, this guy again? Or is there anybody like that you see, or anybody you don't particularly care to look forward to? Or you don't have to give me a name if you don't want to. No.
Not really. No. I mean, it's just anybody can be beaten on a given night.
Oh yeah.
Just one of those kind of things.
Yeah. So we'll jump off the racing topic for a second. Let's talk about some other just general stuff. Skyline or Gold Star?
Gold Star.
Gold Star. You know, as a local Cincinnati area, I just want to get the feel for some guys. It's like, hey, do you prefer a Big Mac or are you a Frisch's kind of guy?
Big Mac.
Big Mac.
Yeah,
Okay.
Yeah.
Outside of the Tri-State Legend Series, we'll jump back and forth a little bit. Other than the Tri-State Legend Series, in the sport mods, if you were going to go somewhere and watch, do you have a particular track or class, or is there any big races that you like to go to, or go camping out? It's a big weekend or anything like that.
I like Dirt World, Dirt Track World Championship.
Okay.
I haven't been to the Dome yet, but I'd like to go out there.
Yeah.
Missouri.
The Dome's fun. It's a total different atmosphere.
Yeah.
It's one of the words I've heard described quite a few times is electrifying.
Mm-hmm.
Is the whole atmosphere and the way it's done. It's pretty cool.
Yeah.
So what about Eldora, Florence? You go to any of their big races?
Yeah, I've been to Florence. I went to Eldora for the first time this year. I went to the pits. It's pretty.
How'd you like that?
It was pretty neat.
Yeah.
I went and sat next to the entrance there, watching them go by. Man,
They're pretty fast.
what if I got a legend out here?
Do you have enough gear in one of those cars? Could you run a track like that?
Yes.
I would have to imagine that would be pretty scary, something that big.
It would be.
For one of those
just
cars.
feel the whole car shaking.
Oh yeah. I heard I talked to like Steve Francis and a couple of guys, and they talked about how Brunswick, the big track, how it used to be, and they said, man, it was just so big, and like the mile tracks, they said it's just so big, and you just going so fast, you feel like you're like levitating in the car. And I would have to think you'd almost do something like that in a legend car, man. Would one of those things hold together in something that big?
I think it would hold together. It's just I don't know how well I'd trust it going into the curve 100 mile an hour.
Right? Hey, it's got to stick, right?
Yeah, aluminum.
Yeah. So, did they have any big asphalt races like that for Legends? Because I know they're like down south and other places, they have road courses and asphalt and all that stuff. Do you ever do any of that?
I do asphalt in West Virginia. I'm in West Virginia. That's as far as I travel for asphalt.
Okay.
I don't really. None of my family's ever been into it. I'm kind of teaching myself how to do it.
Right. Is there a big difference? Do you have to change the car a lot running it versus dirt and asphalt, or do you have a whole other car for that, or you're just the same car, right?
Yeah, I'm the same car. I mean,
obviously you're changing tires. You're 199. You don't have another car.
No.
So again back? Is there a big change up in the setup for that, or?
Yeah, definitely. I mean, your dirt, you're running a little bit softer, and asphalt, you're running a lot stiffer. The car works a lot different.
Okay. I would have to imagine kind of like anything. Versus if you've got a high bake track or a flat track, is there major changes on that or just little stuff?
When you get on asphalt, everything's little stuff. You gotta miss. You don't take a whole turnout. You take a quarter turnout.
Minor adjustments.
Yep.
Do you like the road courses?
I've never been on an asphalt road course, but we ran a dirt road course one time.
Oh, was that at Brush Creek? Yeah,
Yeah.
I've seen the pictures and diagrams that they do on Facebook.
Yeah, it's pretty fun.
Which do you prefer on the oval, asphalt or the dirt? Dirt, yeah. I've been to some asphalt races and it's okay, but I usually lose interest after about 10 laps. I'm like, all right, where's the dirt at?
Yeah.
This is, I'm a dirt guy. I do like Eldora. I like the big race. I like to always go to the World 100. I don't think I've missed a World 100 since I was 16. I've got a few friends that we've pretty much gone with for years and stuff, and as soon as we got our driver's license, man, we were at Eldora as soon as we could,
I went there for the party.
Yeah. Hey, you say that. I have done that before. I went to one of the dreams, and a buddy of mine, he's like, "Hey man, come up, and blah blah blah. Just it's gonna rain out. We're just gonna party anyway." I went with the mindset, not even thinking about the race, whatever. It was just I'm just going for the party, and had a pretty good time. It rained and it sucked, but the party was good.
Exactly. That's what I like about Portsmouth up there at the Dirt World.
Yeah.
You got the overpass.
Yeah.
That village.
Yeah, they have a lot of campers out there. I mean, I've been out there a couple of times.
Yeah.
I worked for Lucas out there one time and just didn't realize, man, how much camping area. They had like full-on hookups and stuff on some of their campsites.
Yeah.
I didn't know that either. A buddy of mine from over in Florence, him and his wife, they were taking the camper out there and had hookups. I'm like, man, who do you got to know to get this? This is also, I've never been camping at a racetrack where you get hookups at. That is pretty cool. Any other big stuff that you like or don't like?
Not really, no.
Not really. I gotcha. So you guys are going to run, like we said, we're going to run the Legend cars every week here. That's going to be a lot. So do you guys run a lot of Sunday races as well? So you'll be here Fridays.
Yeah.
And do you guys have a typical Saturday, or do you guys bounce around Saturdays?
I honestly haven't even looked at Tri-State's schedule yet. I mean, I know Brush Creek races Saturdays, and I can't remember what day Circle City's on.
Yeah.
I think it was last year. They was on Sundays.
Yeah, I know the time that we were going to go, it was on Sundays. So maybe if Michael Parks is watching this, he could throw a link up to the schedule, and we can start getting that shared as well. So anything new on the car other than you talked about the motor a little bit? Any new paint schemes? Anything exciting going on there?
No paint scheme. We got a repowder coated the chassis. That's about it.
Right. Body pretty much the same. Put a new body on it.
No, same body.
Now,
stickers.
your guys, these bodies are all fiberglass.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. So I know like the mods and late models, that stuff's sheet metal, and all that stuff can be changed out over the winter. A lot of guys put all new sheet metal. Your guys' fiberglass stuff, that doesn't get beat up as bad, or sometimes it does, or is it? You think it's more durable?
I think it's more durable. I mean, it has flex and give to it, but then it also has break.
Yes, it does. Like I noticed out here.
Yep.
It definitely does break.
Yep.
Gotcha. Okay. What else can we get into? Football.
I'm a sports guy.
You're just not a sports guy. Okay. So no baseball, no football, basketball. Yeah, I'm not much on the basketball. I'll watch some football, and I don't mind drinking some beer and watching Reds games. But
I've been watching a little bit of the Bengals lately.
Yeah, it kind of got everybody stirred up watching.
Exactly,
it. It's like they're doing something special or something this year.
Yeah, I don't know what the deal is with them, but I'm honestly surprised with them.
Yeah, we was talking about it today. It's like, man, I know they're playing the Titans this week, and it's like, man, I actually feel like they got a shot. I think they might could do something.
Yeah, I hope so.
Yeah.
I mean, how long's it been?
A long time. Too long.
Yeah.
Did you play any sports growing up?
I played baseball when I was like in 3rd or 4th grade, and that was about it.
Right.
Never much time for anything else.
Gotcha. So no football or anything like that? Okay. Yeah, I think I bounced around a little bit with all that stuff, and then it was like when I got older, I mean, I always went to the racetrack on the weekends, but then, you know, I played a lot of softball, but then once I got out of that and got into racing, it was like,
Yeah, right as soon as high school hit,
screw all that stuff.
right as soon as high
I
school, I went to the racing, that was about it.
Yeah.
Didn't have time for nothing else.
So hunting, you do hunt a lot, right?
Yeah, I like that one.
What do you prefer?
What do you mean?
Hunting wise, what do you hunt the most?
Buck.
Buck. Okay, deer hunt.
White tail deer.
Yeah. Would you prefer hunting or racing?
No, racing.
not even a question there. Gotcha. Okay. Well, Tyler, I think we're getting close to the end here. So, is there anything else? You got any particular sponsors that you want to thank? You know, I know you went through the family and stuff like that. Any particular sponsors you want to thank going into?
I'd like to thank Brookies in Ripley, Ohio, the Verdon family, Spike Knob Kennels. I'm sure I'm forgetting somebody else. Bad memory. My whole family. I mean, yeah.
Gotcha. Okay. Well, hey, I tell you what, if there's anybody you forget, send them to me. Send them, tag them in the page, whatever. So they'll make sure they get their plugs as well. We're going to throw the checker flag tonight. We're going to wrap things up. We thank everybody for tuning in and watching, and we hope you guys enjoyed this as much as we did. Yes, it's a little cold, but
trying to figure out what to do with my hands.
hey, you know what?
They're cold.
Ricky and Bobby don't even know what to do with his hands. We'll figure it out.
Yep.
So good deal. All right. Well, Tyler, we appreciate you coming in, sitting down with us, talking a little bit. Look forward to seeing you out there, seeing you and Duderstadt maybe doing a little rubbing, racing, trading paint, or all that good stuff.
Yep.
All right, folks. So we're going to wrap up. Again, we appreciate you turning in. Don't forget to like and share, and we'll see you next time.